Hi, my name is Athnie, and I'm here today to tell you about 4 graphic novels from the last couple of years that I'm really excited about and that I would absolutely recommend to any teen looking for their next great graphic novel read. So the first book that I want to talk about is Smashed. Now, Smashed is the most recent story collection by horror manga master Junji Ito, whose best-known works include titles like Uzumaki and Gyo. Featuring Ito's signature haunting artwork, this collection draws on some of our deepest fears to weave together tales such as The Mystery of the Haunted House, about a haunted house that turns the children who visit it into twisted, withdrawn versions of their former selves, or Earthbound, which chronicles the mysterious and sudden appearance of people rooted to the ground standing in strange positions, or Smashed, the book's namesake, a story about an irresistibly delicious nectar that makes all other food taste terrible in comparison, but that just might cause your violent death unless you try not to be noticed while you eat it. To find out who you're trying not to be noticed by, check out Smashed. I would recommend this collection to anyone who's looking for a haunting and sometimes downright terrifying read and who's okay with some amount of violence and gore. So the next book I want to talk about, I'm really excited about this one because it was actually written by a CXC guest. This is Witchlight by CXC guest Jessie Zabarski. It's actually her debut graphic novel, and it was just released this year. At the beginning of Witchlight, we find ourselves in a bustling market. Our main characters, Sanja and Lalek, have yet to meet each other. Sanja is in the market helping to sell her family's turnips, while Lalek, who is a witch, is there selling potions that may or may not do what they're advertised to. When Sanja finds out that Lalek is tricking her customers, she challenges her to a fight and gets captured. Lucky for Sanja, it turns out that all Lalek wants from her is a sword fighting teacher. Sanja agrees on one condition, that Lalek will stop tricking people with fake potions. There's just one problem. Without Lalek selling her treacherous potions, what will they do for money? The two come up with a plan. So they travel from town to town, challenging the witches in each town to a duel to earn some extra coin. Along the way, the two grow closer, and we as readers learn about Lalek's troubled past and about the fascinating ways that magic works in Sanja and Lalek's world. With a charming story accompanied by Zabarski's very cute art style and use of color to lend a different atmosphere to her panels, I would recommend Witchlight to anyone who likes interesting world building and appreciates a good fantasy story with a smattering of sweet romance. All right, the next book I want to talk about was also written by a CXC guest. This is 2018's Meal, written by CXC guest Blue Delicanti. Meal tells the story of Yarrow, an aspiring chef who moves to a new city to work at an exciting up-and-coming restaurant. There's just one unusual thing about Yarrow's cooking and about this new restaurant. Both specialize in entomophagy, or the practice of cooking and eating insects. Join Yarrow as she tries to prove to Chef Shana that she deserves to work at La Casa Chicatana, figure out her maybe a crush feelings for her neighbor Milani, and learn more about the vast world of entomophagy and how it connects to her and all people's past and future. This is a short and punchy must-read for anyone who likes realistic fiction, romance, and expressive black and white illustrations. But Meal is more than just its story. It's an exploration of the ways food connects us to our family, both blood and chosen family, to our personal history, and to the people around us. All right, the last book that I want to talk about today is Genderqueer by Maya Kababe. So Genderqueer is a beautifully made coming of age, coming out, figuring out who you are memoir by author and illustrator Maya Kababe. Kababe begins with Air childhood in rural California with hippie parents, no electricity or running water, and very few gender expectations. As Kababe grows up and starts attending school with other children, A starts to notice all the things people expect of M because A was assigned female at birth, and all the ways A feels different from her female peers. Kababe goes on to confide about fumbling through high school, learning about other LGBTQ+ people, going to art school, and coming to know and understand himself as a genderqueer and asexual person. With humor, honesty, and a healthy smattering of pop culture references, A delves deeply into topics such as sex and dating, gender dysphoria and gender euphoria, and coming out. Now, I'm not usually a huge fan of memoirs, but I sincerely enjoyed Genderqueer, and to be honest, I found much of it very relatable. I would recommend Genderqueer to all LGBTQ young people, and not so young people, and to anyone who's thinking about where their place in the world could be. Thank you for joining me today to talk about Smashed, Witchlight, Meal, and Genderqueer.